Merry Sunday, everybody. I hope you have had a wonderful week. I hope you have enjoyed whatever you have done, wherever you are, whoever you're with. It's Sunday again. I have a wonderful The Jaden Show for you today. I'm going to sunny Scotland to meet community arts worker, community project worker, singer, musician, producer, beats maker, youth worker. I mean, this guy is amazing. His name is GLU, and we're going to hear from him in just a sec. You're going to love him. He's such a super cool guy. But before we do, he's kind of new to this whole kind of performing thing, but he's a super lovely guy, and I think we should watch a little bit of him in action. This is called Anything For You. This is a song that he's written himself. This is GLU. We'll speak to you in a minute.
I would do anything for you, anything you ask me to. I would travel and see, just to have you next to me. I searched so long and hard to find you. I just need to tell you I love you so. I would travel and see, just to have you next to me. I would do anything for you, anything you ask me to. I'd get in my car, I'd jump on that plane, I would board any vessel if it brought me closer to you, my dear.
Yes, it's that time. Let's go and meet today's super special guest, the amazing GLU, everybody. GLU, welcome to the Jaden Show. How are you doing, man?
Hi, yeah, good. Thanks for having me.
It looks very sunny in Scotland at the moment.
It is. It's mega hot. It's freakishly hot.
Really?
It's like nearly 30 degrees or something.
No way, really?
Yeah, well, it was 28 earlier.
Bloody hell, man.
Yeah.
I always wanted to move to Scotland. That was always kind of my plan eventually. But I was just like, the weather was just a little bit chilly. But now I'm in bloody Mexico, where it's absolutely killing me, the heat. The 30 degrees is as hot as what we are, so.
Yeah, it's not often like that. I mean, to be fair, I think it probably touched 29 today, I reckon. But it's never that hot this time of year as well. Yeah, last time it was this hot was about 5 years ago, maybe.
Wow, okay, man.
Yeah.
So you're not the whole of the country is out sunbathing and down the beaches and lakes and that now, right?
Yeah, probably, yeah. Yeah.
Apart from you, stuck in.
Well, I've done my necking. I'm sat in this chair. I look alright, but I'm supposed to be facilitating music workshops on a Wednesday, and I couldn't do it because I've jarred my neck. So I've been sat indoors working from home all day.
Really?
Yeah. I got a little piece in the garden earlier, but yeah.
How did you hurt your neck?
Oh, no idea. I think it's a combination of because I'm a lot to do with GLU. I do a lot of streaming. Yeah, I do a lot of promotion online. I'm quite active on Twitter, so I've been doing a lot of that and a lot of screen watching, a lot of phone watching, and then I've been working full time as well, doing youth work and other stuff because I've just finished university, and I think I've just done too much at once. I got up first thing Saturday morning, lifted some weights, and bang.
Wow, man,
and that was it. Yeah.
See, exercise isn't healthy. I've never heard anyone eating a Mars bar.
Yeah, but up until then, I was having a good run of it. Like, I've been doing a bit of work on myself recently because I was a bit unfit again, so I feel better for it. But that's
you just can't move.
No, yeah, I can't move now. Yeah. Can't do the things I really want to do.
So tell me about GLU, because not only are you a musician, an artist, you're an educator, youth worker. You work with different youth. Do you work with different youth projects in Glasgow, or you are a youth project that?
No, so actually, like the youth work side of things is something that I would like to grow. Like, so at the minute I do detached youth work, which is street youth work.
Okay.
And I work in a particular area of the city. I won't go too much into that.
Yeah.
But basically, we walk the street in the evenings and we engage with young people that are probably not engaged in school as much, not going to centre-based youth work, and we try and basically build a relationship with them on their level, and try and encourage them into things that are going to be good for them, instead of maybe pull them away from things that are going to take them down the wrong path. And that.
Right. Okay.
And I do that for a small Christian organisation. I think really what's on my heart long term is, from that experience, I'd probably like to set up like a creative arts based youth work charity that provides access to the arts for young people like that. So that's probably where that's going at some point. But the work I do now is very much pretty small and localized and detached. So I'm just basically walking around the street at night, engaging with young people, with my boss and my colleagues.
That must be quite a intense kind of thing to do, right?
It can be. I mean, I never really struggle with it. Like, I suppose, like, without going into too much detail too quickly, I don't want to give it all away just yet. But yeah, I mean, I kind of struggled with certain issues when I was growing up. I went off the rails. I never ended up in jail, luckily. I could have very easily, by my behaviour and that. But I ended up, getting involved in like drugs and all the rest of it. And I wasn't in a good place for a long time. And I went through kind of like the homeless system and all of that. So yeah, I kind of relate to them. Do you know what I mean? And I see things repeating in their lives that I saw in my life. And so it's probably a bit easier for me to relate to them and know what to say to them sometimes as well, and maybe spot their needs a bit better, rather than just seeing them as a problem. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of adults just see them as a problem.
So, yeah, more than a misunderstanding, I guess.
Yeah.
I used to work in a college in the southwest of England with kids that couldn't access the normal curriculum because they were too gnarly.
Yeah.
Basically. And that was probably the most challenging job I've ever had. I worked with like disabilities and stuff like that, but that for me, because I had a very blessed youth, I was very, very lucky boy. And, it was really interesting, but one of the most rewarding jobs I've ever had as well. Apart from the end of one of my year courses that I'd done with them, I'd gone from literally just, being the bullied one in the group of the younger kids. Like, shit, this is like me back at school again. Like, how did this happen? So actually, one of the lads came up to me at the end of the session. I kind of found my way in to break up their little kind of "we hate the teacher and all authority" kind of thing. So that's actually probably one of the biggest compliments and the biggest insults I've ever had in my life, all in one bag, where they went, "You know what, Jaden, like, we think you're like really cool. Me and Tom were only discussing earlier, it would be like really cool, man, like if you was like our dad." And I thought they were going to say like my mate, my brother. And I was like, "Your dad?" I said, "I'm too young to be your dad." I went, "How old's your dad?" He went, like 32. I was like, "Shit, I'm 34. I thought we were going to go
that far
or something."
It could have been worse, man. It could have been worse.
Yeah.
I totally get that. I see that. Like, I kind of so a similar thing with my stepkids when me and my wife first got together. Obviously, I wanted to be like the cool dad and that, or like the pal. But they just look at me like straight-laced old dad.
Really?
It's funny. It's hilarious.
Sweet, man. Well, let's talk about your music, because obviously the both are really, really kind of intertwined. You actually haven't been doing that many live performances for that long, have you?
No. So that's something I'm developing, like being an arts facilitator. So I basically help people that have got no musical experience come into like a band setting and pick up an instrument and learn how to play together. And I guess through that, I played drums when I was young, and I played flute as well when I was a kid. But I fell away from all of that. And I think when I kind of sorted myself out and I got into all this lot, I started picking up guitar, bass, and all that kind of stuff. And I write stuff at home of mine, but I never really had the confidence to sing and play in front of people, right? So it's been something on my heart I've been getting progressively better at over time. Like making beats and stuff is fine because I'm in the house and I'm in my element. I'm a bit of a geek. I like sitting there doing stuff like that, man. But yeah, it's literally like the start of me kind of maybe coming out my shell a little bit more, doing a few vocal tracks. I've got a new punk track dropping soon, which is called Cruising for a Bruising.
Right.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that dropping. That'll be good. My part is just being mastered at the minute.
Sweet, man.
Yeah.
What was the thing that actually kind of got you out of your comfort zone and started to put more emphasis in actually being an artist rather than a producer or writer or whatever?
So that's a good question. I think I always in my heart probably wanted to do that. When I was younger, I never would have the confidence to do something like that. I think that my life experience and where I was at in my life and me kind of getting back on the straight and narrow all kind of come together at the right time. And I fell in with In Cahoots. I don't know if you see that on my site. Basically, they're the organisation that I do facilitation with. I went there as a participant. I got involved in community drama. I did a few performances. And I guess through those kind of skills, adding on to like me developing as a musician, it's all kind of come together now to a place where I'm a lot more confident and I'm not really bothered, really. Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah. I like karaoke. I've always liked karaoke.
Really? Sweet, man. Yeah. See, that used to scare that. I could always, I never had any confidence, like zero confidence.
Yeah, same.
Even when I was becoming a pop star, it was all very organic. If I had time to think about what I was doing, I could never have done it. But all of a sudden it kind of glided into the next thing. I was never told about the next thing. It just went into the next thing. I didn't have time to think about anything I was doing. I think if I'd thought about it, I probably would have had a bit of a nervous breakdown. But I couldn't do karaoke ever. That was like the biggest fear thing for me, because at least with my songs, I knew I could pitch it and I knew I could sing it. But I didn't know if I could sing anything else in karaoke. So the thought of getting up there, and because I was that typical knob, right, that I really loved my music, so it was really serious for me. So I would get up there and do my thing, and people didn't want this young lad going up and go like, "Only love will turn." They wanted someone going like really out of tune, like not being. They thought, him thinks he's bloody Jack the Biscuit.
See, so, it's funny you should say that, because I didn't. I said I've always liked karaoke. That was I just really pulled myself on that. That was a lie, because I didn't. It was about 5-6 years ago. I finally got up for the first time to do it, and I instantly loved it.
Really?
I think that's right in my head. I was like, I've always loved it. I haven't.
Oh, this is where I should be.
Yeah. So that all of that stuff kind of all come together roughly at the same time. There were like pieces of a big jigsaw puzzle that started kind of fitting together. And now I kind of do that. I get paid to do part of that, you know, like with work with people and teaching music and stuff. That's with adults. So
do you do karaoke more now? Are you like an active? I'm going to find out my nearest karaoke joint.
So we haven't So during lockdown, we used to do it in the flat quite a bit, because I used to stay somewhere else further up the road, just like a tower block, right? Yeah. So like blaring out in the middle of the day doing karaoke during lockdown. I've got loads of videos of that. I should put them up on YouTube. I'll probably just get loads of them.
All publicity is good publicity, right?
Yeah. But no, we don't actively go out and do them. But if there is a night on and we happen to be there, I won't be shy of going up and maybe doing another. Yeah.
That's amazing. So you started making beats and kind of started writing, and they started to get a lot of attention, right?
Yeah, well, more than I thought. At first, I wasn't getting any, but I've got to be honest, I don't really care. That sounds like really counterintuitive.
No, because you're doing it for you rather than the approval of other people. Yeah, that's all right, man.
Yeah, I've always needed that creative outlet. I've had to work through a lot of things in my life, and I think for a long time, because of where I was at or the situations that I was in, I didn't have that outlet, and that didn't help one bit. And now it kind of started off like that and ways of me expressing myself, and then it still is that, but now it's kind of getting a bit more serious. I hit Twitter a little while ago, literally like end of April, and already like I'm kind of making connections and collaborating with people and all that kind of stuff. It's going pretty well, all things considered.
Man. So what are you working on at the moment?
At the moment, I've got Embrace, which is like a synthwave kind of like electro poppy chill out beat tune that's coming out. That's dropping on the 20th of June. Okay. So I've just worked on that. I've got the Cruising for a Bruising, which is a punk track. I'm also working on something. I've got to be careful what I say. I'm working on something else with an Irish musician, and that's all I can say.
Okay.
Because I don't want to give too much away, but I'm really fired up about that. That is a track that I wrote myself, and then I sent it to that person, and then they've put their own spin on it, and we're kind of back and to and fro with it at the moment.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah, he's pretty well established. Well, I've given a bit more away there. He's pretty well established, so I'm excited about that. And he's a great guy. If you're watching this, Irish musician, I'm really looking forward to that, and it's a pleasure working with you. I think it's great. Yeah.
So it's all happened kind of quite quickly for you, right?
Yeah, I mean,
you've been doing it for a long time, but the kind of like you get on social media and that's where it all just kind of starts igniting.
Yeah. I think because of where I was at personally in my life, I'm not on social media in my personal life at all. Like, I couldn't, I'm just not, for various reasons. I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to get on my soapbox or anything. But I think for artistry, like, it's really important. You need to make those connections, and it's been great. Like, all the reservations I had about it were just wrong, other than I am knackered from it.
But it
is full on, right?
It's a full-time job, mate.
Yeah, it is. It's a full-time job on top of my actual full-time job. Yeah. And then being married, it's like my wife said to me the other day, she says, you do remember you're married, right? And I'm like, oh yeah.
It was something on my list I was forgetting, love.
Yeah. She's got a habit of exaggerating, but she's not far wrong. Do you know what I mean? I do.
No, it is. It is. I remember, like, I used to work with aggressive teenagers that had disabilities, and some of them were potential, rapists, murderers and stuff like that because of their disabilities. Mm-hmm. So I remember doing like a 24-hour shift or 18-hour shift or whatever I was on, coming home and then having to do 8 hours of bloody YouTube, Twitter and MySpace back in the day. It was like, oh my God. Yeah, a couple of hours sleep and going back to work again. It was, it's a killer.
It's pretty wild, man.
Everything depends on it. I released this track a couple of years ago and it was I was working with a reggaeton artist here. I'm a pop boy who went into classical crossover and kind of classical music because I looked very different to most classical singers. And now I'm kind of just doing what I love to do with people that I love to work with. So I'm doing a bit of everything now because I can, right?
Yeah.
Enjoy it. So I'd co-written this reggaeton track with a singer here in Mexico called Black Sicano. Really.
I see that. Yeah, I've watched that video. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. He's such a good guy. Like, everything he touches is gold. Like, what he does with his stuff, and he works mainly on his phone, mate. Like, all that's like recording. He's fucking brilliant. So we put that track out and everything, and a couple of record companies like, oh, we really love your stuff, really love what you're doing. You haven't got enough YouTube followers,
right?
Well, then help me get it out there, and we'll gain more, right?
Yeah. If it's that good, yeah.
You've got to come with it, and maybe change, like the hi hat on the second hi hat on the last chorus. You're like, oh my God, like, well, I'm just doing it myself. If you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, you don't like it.
Yeah.
It really is.
There's always going to be like critics out there. And if we listen to everything critical, you should maybe pay attention to criticism, right? But if you let it stop you from doing stuff, like doing anything, no one would ever do anything because the world's a really critical place.
Right? Oh my God, it's worse than ever, mate.
Yeah.
I think the most important thing is what you're saying, and it's actually kind of, if I look back at all the shows that I've done, it's actually probably the most common theme. It's about authenticity. Mm-hmm. It's about being true to you. And what you said, what, I don't really care. That's not an arrogant nonchalant. It's actually, well, what's going to be one man's pleasure is another man's poison. You ain't going to the people. So you've got to do what you love and think, no, I've done that my best, man. Like, I really enjoyed how that's come out. So I'm going to put it out. Sweet. Yeah. No one likes it. No one likes it. I like it.
Yeah. For me, I kind of see it as like, it's almost like a storyboard and a journey, right? And it's just plotted out publicly. So like I started off there, and then you can I can see it in front of me, like it's getting better and better all the time.
Yeah.
And I see it with other artists when we're connecting on Twitter and stuff. Like, yeah, I'll listen to a tune they did like 6 months ago, and then to where they're at now, I'm like, wow, you know. And then being in those spaces and putting yourself out there like that drives you to. Well, I'm talking about third person, like drives me to be better. Do you know what I mean? I think
Absolutely.
right. And it's almost intuitive. Like I don't think right, I need to be better. I just end up getting better because I'm getting loads of input from other people as well, right? Whereas instead of just pottering along on my own in my bedroom, making tunes, not talking to anyone in like glue land.
Yeah.
You don't grow. Do you know? You don't grow in that space as much as if you expose yourself to relationships and, you know, connecting with people and stuff.
Well, I think it's all about being open to everything. You know, it's not because you feel you have to change. It's like you said, because I like the way that riff or that vocal or that, you know, that how I felt when I heard that introduction of that sound or the fade out of that, and you think, of course it's about being open to evolving. That's what I like to call it.
100%. Yeah.
So what were your musical influences when you were younger? Like what was your pick?
How long we got? So like my first, I remember I was about, I think about 6 or 7, and I got a CD player for my birthday, and I think I got 4 CDs with it. I think one of them was Michael Jackson Bad.
That's one of my favorites.
Right, so that gives you an idea of how old I am, right? And then one of them was, I think it was Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer. I can't remember, right? The other one was Annie Lennox, Diva, because my mum must have bought that for me, which is an album, by the way. Love that. I like Annie Lennox. Yeah. And Metallica, Ride the Lightning.
Okay.
So yeah, they were like
an eclectic group. Eclectic playlist back in the day.
Yeah. But I mean, I grew up listening to like, my older brother's passed away, right? So he was 5 years older than me. I'm in my late 30s, so it gives you an idea of how old he was. Similar lifestyle to my own, so that's probably enough said about that. Do you know what I mean? Like he's not with us anymore. But me and my little brother grew up listening to stuff that he was listening to, and so he was coming of age. You know, like we were into Nirvana and things like that, but he was like literally living it at like those formative years. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
So he was into like Nirvana, like grunge, metal, rock, like Guns N' Roses, but also the rave scene was just starting up, and he got heavily into like drum and bass and raving and all that kind of stuff. So I was just around that a lot as a kid. And then I ended up kind of getting into punk and metal myself and I rebelled when I got to a certain age, and I was like, I don't want that mainstream stuff. I'm going to go that way for a bit. Got into like punk, metal, emo, all that kind of stuff, but still really liked like UK urban and like hip hop as well, American hip hop, drum and bass, all sorts of dance music. But yeah, I was into metal and punk in a big way when I was younger.
Wow, but quite, like I said, quite an eclectic list of kind of groups and stuff like that. A bit of everything almost.
Yeah, a bit of everything. And then obviously I grew up playing instruments, so like I'm open to all sorts of music. I like jazz, soul. Into a lot of my soul music recently. Yeah, especially first thing in the morning. It was good.
Sweet, man. So when you write, do you write with what you're feeling in the moment, or do you set yourself, right, I'm gonna write a country track, I'm gonna write an EDM track, I'm gonna write a reggae track? I mean, do you set goals, or is it how you're feeling or what you're listening to in that moment?
Yeah, it's a good question. Like, it could be any one of those things.
Okay.
So there's no black and white answer there. Like sometimes I might have an idea. Like I'll listen to a track and go, that sounds amazing. That's right. That sounds just like something that I had an idea for a little while ago. Okay. And that might inspire me. It won't be the same as that, because I don't want to just kind of churn out copy music of other people. But that I'll take that inspiration and I'll just sit down and start writing, and then whatever comes out comes out. Other times I will have like a specific idea, a bit like the track that I'm working on with the Irish guy at the moment. Sounds terrible, the Irish guy. I just don't want to give your name away, mate. I love you. I'm trying to maintain your anonymity at the minute, because if it never goes anywhere, it'd be like flipping glue, man.
But if it does go somewhere, you come back for a Jaden Show special, and then you can
100%,
right?
Present it, the Irish guy, right.
AKA.
Yeah. So that was actually, I had the idea. I was listening to a lot of like kind of Nick Cave stuff at the time, and it's got that kind of slow kind of like instrument, like soundtrack for a TV show. Not quite Peaky Blinders, but it's that kind of just kind of chugs along and builds up with atmosphere, guitars, bass, and so like I might just, that was like an idea I had. I clearly had that in my head, and I just went and plotted it all out. Other times I'll just sit down and start playing around with an instrument and see what comes out.
See what happens. Amazing, man. Do the songs you kick back and listen to now, have you stayed quite true to your past influences, or are there other new artists and stuff coming into your playlists now that you ever thought you'd ever be listening to?
Yeah, I mean, like when I was like 15 to 20, like all I really listened to was like hardcore punk and black metal, really, and hip hop. And if it wasn't kind of street, I wasn't really interested in it. Because I was, anyway, I'm not going to judge young me. That young me was young me, and I don't think that was a bad thing either. I think it wasn't just about the music there. I think I don't even think it was that. I think it was music that made me feel powerful, because I was a powerless person. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I think that's the best way that I can describe that. But nowadays, I mean, I also grew up listening to a lot of post rock, grunge, like old school, like Pixies and stuff like that, right through to bands like Built to Spill, kind of American indie bands with what we would probably call punk, really, but what Americans, I'd reckon at the time, would have called them American indie. Bad Religion, people like that. So yeah, I still listen to all of that. I'm right into kind of shoegaze at the minute, like post rock and shoegaze. But the one that surprised me was getting more into kind of like soul and jazz. Because I think my image of people that played jazz was a bit pretentious, right? But actually, now I'm a bit older and a bit wiser, I'm like, that's really skillful and interesting. So yeah.
No, I never listened to jazz. It was never my thing ever. But then I found out that I actually quite enjoyed singing it. So I mean, I sing everything. So, but like I will chuck a bit of like a Harry Connick Jr. or or Ella Fitzgerald kind of.
Nice.
And it actually seems to get the most attention as well. So I kind of I don't listen to it all the time, but if I hear something, I think, I really like that. That's really cool, man. Musicians, unbelievable. Musicians.
I think as I've got a bit older and a bit longer in the tooth, I've come to appreciate it a bit more.
Love how you said
I was like younger, it's like charge forward, we must keep going, that kind of attitude. Yeah.
And now you're a bit more mellow.
100%. I don't know if my wife would agree, but I know that I'm mellow compared to what I used to.
Recognise it in yourself. That's the main thing. Yeah. So your future community arts project is your dream, to have a place where people can access that creative outlet.
I've just grow the work I'm doing, maybe with a great organisation called In Cahoots. They do drama, filming, music, art. And I'm the music facilitator. I mean, maybe my experience from that, mixed with youth work, create like an inclusive youth work project, which is based in the arts to help young people develop skills to empower themselves, but also just teach people informally and break down those barriers that stop people from learning stuff like that, especially if you're from a certain socioeconomic background.
Absolutely. And what about musically? What are your plans for your future musically?
Oh, I don't know.
Apart from the Irishman.
I don't know, whatever happens, really. I'm pretty blasé. I say I'm blasé. I'm very active. So like my understanding of the universe is you put the graft in, the opportunities come your way. Right. And so I do think that through just keep doing what I'm doing, I'll just take opportunities as they come. I might not, I might do, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But right now I probably want to do a punk EP. That's on the radar. Like punk / kind of grungy EP. I did like a collab with a Canadian artist called Choking Crows. They helped me with the lo-fi track Fortitude that I did.
Okay.
And they kind of do stuff like that, and I'm into similar types of music as them. So probably a couple of collabs from them will be on the way.
Sweet.
And more lo-fi and more kind of synthwave stuff. It's probably where my heart is at the moment.
Love it. And also updating all of your social media. So
Yeah,
all these
it's
fans
like
and
tumbleweed
supporters
central.
can find you somewhere, right?
Yeah. I'm getting better at that. I mean, to be fair, I have only been on them for like not even 2 months.
That's amazing, man. You're doing good already.
Getting there.
No, bloody amazing. So where can people find you at the moment on social media?
So I'm on Twitter, GLU, like capital letters, GLU_artist, Instagram and Facebook. It's going to be changing. The name will be changing, but if you put at GLU.ARTIST, you will find me on Instagram. That's probably the best place to go for that. On YouTube, I am also GLU.ARTIST, but if you just type in GLU capital letters, you might come up with another guy called GLU.
I was gonna say this. So you're kind of like, you know, is it a secret life you've got going on, or?
Nah. So basically, what happened was that name come to me because, like, to cut a long story short, I came to faith a while ago, and that name was kind of born out of that somehow. I'm not going to go into how that was, right? So I thought, okay, I know it sounds strange, sounds a bit like, you know, it's funny because I'm saying that I used to have a problem with like substances, and now my name's GLU and all this stuff, right? And all that kind of stuff. Right? But I didn't really think. I did think of that, but it didn't occur to me that someone else might be called GLU, right? So it turns out that he's the ex-bassist from Queens of the Stone Age. His solo act is actually GLU, and he basically, I checked it out afterwards, and I thought, well, it's all lowercase, and his branding looks different, and he's like doing different stuff. So I didn't change it because I was already started doing quite a bit of stuff, and I thought it'd be so long to change everything and undo all my ISRCs and all the rest of it, right? So, and it turns out now we're running like a font war because he's changed all his letters to capitals, and so we both appear and search things, and he comes first because he's established. You know what I mean? He's got a name for himself. He's famous. Do you know what I mean? He's properly famous. But I find it quite funny that I'm competing with him a little bit. Just from a humble sense of some guy making tunes in his house. I've got to sound.
But it's starting, mate. And you know, the plan is that one day you become the #1 search on Google for GLU, right?
Yeah, I kind of feel bad for the guy because I didn't mean to do it. GLU, if you're listening, other GLU, no hard feelings, mate. I've got much love for your music. I love Queens of the Stone Age as well. I don't know how you feel about that based on history, but I like your other stuff as well. Giving it a listen, but just out of principle, I do not follow you on Spotify because that would be a bit weird. But probably should actually. I might, but no hard feelings.
Yeah, maybe you need to be checking out your stuff, mate.
Yeah, maybe Jaden, you could set up an interview with GLU and GLU, and we can hash it out publicly.
Okay, well, I'll get onto it, and you get onto it, and let's do it, and we'll have the big debate.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Well, mate, thank you so much for being part of my show.
No, thank you.
Appreciate your time. Especially, I've dragged you out of the garden from getting a bit of sun in sunny Scotland.
Yeah.
Because obviously your accent is a bit souther.
Yeah. So obviously I grew up in Essex, right? So I mean, I moved up to Scotland about what's it now? About 6.5 years ago. I was in a bit of a bad way at the time, and I got offered a job to come work up here, and I thought, you know what, probably a good idea, get me away from London for a bit. Did all right for a bit, and then, you know, it's that thing, you can't run away from yourself, right? So I'm very, I ended up back in the same place, ended up homeless, ended up not very well. Yeah. And so, like, that's what happened. But then through all of that, and then loads of people, I love Glasgow, love Scotland, loads of people showed me untold love, supported me. People I don't even know, random people in the street as well. You know, since moving here, like, I've come to faith. I managed to, like, sort myself out for the longest I ever have in my entire life. Do you know what I mean?
Sweet, man.
Yeah, I got married.
Stepfather.
What's that? Yeah, I'm married, got married. I'm a stepfather. I went back to university. I've just finished my 3rd year of a community development degree. So, like, I've got a basic degree now, and I'm an endorsed practitioner for community learning and development. So yeah, I might go back and do more, and might not. Yeah, and I'm a full-time youth worker, community arts worker, and I'm an artist.
An artist, and you're not even 40 yet. How amazing is that?
Yeah, getting there.
Bloody amazing, man. Well, I'm super chuffed for you, and keep doing what you're doing, and keep helping and supporting all those people that you are supporting, because you know not many people are interested in their voice most of the time.
Yeah. I've definitely got a heart for that stuff, man. I'm one of them. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
So it'd be super cool, man. Well, I wish you the ultimate luck and success in everything you do. Come and speak to me when Irishman is revealed. Maybe we can reveal him on the Jaden Show. That would be super cool. And play the track when it's coming out. That would be super lovely.
Yeah, I will do. Hopefully it comes out. You never know. You know what these things are like. We might
absolutely. I look forward to that interview.
Yeah. So
in the not too distant future. Well, wish you untold luck and success, mate. And stay in touch. If you ever write anything for a little hot boy in Mexico, let me know.
Yeah, got you. I'm up for that. Without having to make this interview even longer, I'm working on something at the minute with one of the participants that I work with, which is a bit more kind of pop soul-y. So if that comes off, I'll know what kind of thing I'll be bringing your way. So
sweet. I'm up for it. I'm so up for that. All right, mate. You take good care. Be good, stay safe, and thank you so much for being on my show. People at home, go and find GLU, the original GLU, GLU, capital letters, all over social media. Through the whole of the interview, you will find underneath the screen where you can find him on his Twitter, his Facebook, his Instagram, and his YouTube. Mate, thank you so much. People at home, thank you so much. And we're going to go and listen to a bit more of your music, yeah?
Cool. Thanks.
All right, buddy. Take care, man. GLU, thank you so much for being part of my show this week. You're a superstar. And it's amazing to hear the incredible work you're doing. And I'm so pleased that you're continuing with your music. And I'm looking forward to working with you in the future. That would be super cool. People at home, please go and show that brother some love. Go and support him. Go and check out all his social media platforms. And you can also find out the charity work that he does as well, the youth work that he does by following the links to that particular Facebook page and website as well. I hope you've had a lovely show. I hope you've enjoyed GLU. I can't wait for you to tell him as well. That would be amazing. Thank you for watching me. Don't forget to follow me on my social media platforms. Don't forget as well, you can not only download GLU's music, you can also download my music on major streaming and download platforms as well. You have a wonderful new week. I'm already excited to be sharing with you another wonderful person next Sunday on the Jaden Show. Take good care of yourself. Stay beautiful. And I'm going to leave you with a bit of music from GLU. This is called There For You. This is GLU. We are. And I'll see you next week on the Jaden Show. Stay beautiful. Bye-bye.